Energy ball right here. It's all mine. It's all mine. Stop it. Wait. I need to get back in tune with. Wait, I'm getting a reading. One of you's a bitch ass nigga. Come on. Oh, I called another one on accident. Look, he's calling backup. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. This is how I met your mother. Shut up. God. God. I judge you. I judge you. I judge you. Look, there's so many of them. I've called immense backup. I've called them all to me. To me. To me. To me. Oh, I think I stepped in a big waddle of my piss. Shut up. 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 That's right. Bitch. Bitch, shut up. Bitch. Fuck you. I judge you. Wait. Energy ball. Let me do my type. Fuck off. God. They're so good at it. It's like they don't have to stare at a phone screen for 12 hours a day. And they can just do the energy work all day for their whole life. And they have like parents that teach them crow tactics. I'll show you a crow tactic. I'm drinking a soda, bitch. Put all your money in my guitar case. Stick them up, everybody. I'm robbing this place. Get the crows going on. And I'll kill them. I'm gonna kill them all. One day you'll all plummet to your doom at the hand of the boy you murdered. Ow, you make my root chakra hurt. Stop. Ow. What is this pain I feel now? Ouch. It's like something's biting my balls, bro. And they caught and I felt it attach. Why? Stop. Stop. Ouch. Ouch. It's like it was a Scorpio moon or something. Leave me alone. Fuck off. Yeah, fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. It's my land. The rights of this land belong to the Nords. And the Nords are not the Norse, you fucking pussies. They're a whole different race in a whole different video game far away. In Skyrim. The Nords are not the fucking God. God, the Nords aren't Vikings. Stop it. Stop. Get some help. Look with your special eyes. My glands. Look with your special eyes. France. Look with your special eyes. Look with your special eyes. It's really nice out today, man. Something's really different. I'm dead inside, man. Fuck you, Boone. Fuck you, Boone. Fuck you, Cooper. Cooper. I want to have a fire, but I need to make a fire pit. And it needs to be dark out to have a fire because people will get kind of perturbed maybe at my presence if they think I'm burning shit. LOL. Is it just... No, there's 5 people here. What up, guys? This is the state of my tent currently. I'm out here fighting the crows for dominance. That tent is not an L-shaped tent. What it is, actually... Sorry, I'm an alien. Sorry, the reptile tried to crawl out of me. I started skinwalker morphing. Is that the entire back of the tent fucking broke under the snow. So it's held up by faith right now. This tent is barely up. So that L shape is the tent caving in on itself. And I've just dumped my trash out in the front because can't afford a trash can and there's no dumpsters nearby. But you know what? I'm the king in the north, and I'm waiting for the crows to show up, and I'm gonna harass them if they do. Huh? You can't complain it's cold, Krill. If I'm cold, I mean, if I'm not cold, you're not cold, okay? I'm trying to raise my vibration, and it's not working very well for me. I think I need nicotine. I need nicotine to hold the energy into my core. I see why the natives needed the tobacco so much. I see now. It was essential. It was the building blocks to house their light inside of their body, and now that I don't have it, it's pretty easy for these crows to fuck with me. And they all came over to do it. They're trying, oh, they just bring it back to me as I am. They don't like it. And then I'm gonna. Okay. This is what 10 years living in the woods does to you. You know? Hey! I broke position and a bird went, don't do it. Okay. Doesn't it feel like the world's kind of returned to normal for a day? Like there's just so much like common sense and decency. Things are just kind of okay today for some reason. Usually it's like everyone has consumed so much of the energy that really it's just the valley of death. At least where I live. But today we've been blessed with this, like, I can see it. Everybody's kind of feeling good. And that's why the crows aren't as vicious. But they're sneaky. They're just sitting in that tree over there, and that's not where they live. They're not hunting. They showed up when I was meditating. They're there as magnets to take away all of the spiritual life force energy that could come to me. They're trying to get in the way. And I'm assuming that that's what homeless people do in cities where there are no crows, because the devil has to do something. So he forces people to traumatize people, and then the traumatized people he uses as puppets. Homeless people aren't evil. The people that hurt the homeless people are evil. You know what I'm saying? If you come into my woods, I swear to God, I'll turn you into a FNAF animatronic. Get touched. Sorry, sorry. Sick hatchet. Thanks, man. I bought it. I bought it myself, man, with my job money. Boone, when does your family leave? I have questions about God. I want to interview Boone. And I don't know, man. It was pretty rude of Westy to brag about how much money he has and then treat me like shit as soon as there's a 13-year-old girl in the vicinity. And then tell me, after trying to stunt on me in front of a 13-year-old girl, that the only way he would ever give me any money from his extreme amount of savings that he doesn't plan on using, squirrel on my right side, is that if he made $1 million. And I was like, bitch, you're watching me suffer every day and you have the means to save it. We only live once. What if that ticket to the $1 million was the generosity and I was the catalyst to see if you deserved the wealth? But people don't really think that far, do they? People will be like, I just saw a UFO when I thought about if there's a UFO, can I see one? But they're like, but they don't expect anything of me. God's just gonna help me, right? All right. Guitar case. I don't need to go over there for anything. I don't have any cigarettes. I'm not really ready to clean yet. Right on tonight, actually. Well, if you want to go live, we could figure out how to go live on YouTube. I do have a pair of headphones, but the microphone's kind of sucky. I'm trying to figure out Discord. Maybe. How will I be able to hear what you're saying and there's not like a double take with the camera, microphone? You know, how do I make it good quality? And I think people would be very interested in that, especially if we edit it. Stick 'em up, everybody. I'm Robin's place. You fucking bitch. I need my smoke. Chat. A 10-acre piece of land where I live is about $100,000. 40 acres is about $400,000 right now. But there is one piece of property. Fuck you, crow on my right side. Squirrel, because I shot too much energy because I've quit smoking. So I'm kind of a little bit too powerful lately. Sorry for that. I woke you up. There's a 100-acre, 132-acre parcel of land right in the middle of a state forest. The only way to get in there... Inner city pigeon, let me answer that in a minute. The only way to get in there is to go through like 15 to 20 acres of state forest trails. You can't build a driveway on it, but if you can get through like 2 football fields up into the mountains, probably a lot more actually. I don't know how far it is, but you have to get into the mountains, and then in the mountains, there's this 130 acres. Think about that. 130 acres. How many? Look up how many acres a football field is. It's probably like 2 or 3. More than 30 football fields worth of land sitting in the mountains for $130,000, but you only have to pay $600 a month for it. $600 a month, which means that all I have to do is just do some part-time work on my computer, and I have 130 acres. You know what we could do with 130 acres? Jack shit, because fuck you guys. Watching me scream and cry all day. Please help, please. I don't know what's going on. Why do they keep raping me? And then you only like the video when somebody's like, fuck you, schizo. Yeah. God watches. God is watching both of us, bro. Your ancestors are hovering around you. There's a fucking squirrel that's been watching me in this tree the whole time. Right there. Right there. It's nature. Hi, nature. Motherfucker. You fucking accuse her of your brethren? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Plus, I think right down the road, a friend of mine that I've made recently who likes to play banjo in the woods. He's got 100 acres he's just sitting on. He don't even live there. He live in the city, like 40 miles, 20 miles north. Feels like 40 miles when you're walking. And that 20 miles is on the highway. If you want to get if you can't go on the highway, it's about 40 miles. Because you got to go up through this other mountain. You have to go through the mountains basically to get anywhere around here. I don't know if you done seen a topographical map of Vermont, but shit's pretty hilly, man. Shit's pretty mountainous, if you ask me. And it's way goated than anywhere else in the fucking country. Have you ever just looked up images of Montana? That shit looks like a 5th grader made it. It looks like God really cared about this place and then, or the game developers really worked really hard on this place, and then Montana is just like the outskirts, just to like add filler to make the map seem bigger than it is. You look up pictures of Montana, and it's just the same tree 3D rendered, kind of just not even like with care. It's just kind of sprinkled about, half-assed. When you look in Vermont, look at all these different species of trees. It's a vanilla Coke. What the fuck are you? What the fuck? It sounded like a group of Amish people were stomping on grapes here. Oh, I stepped right in the fucking prickers. Ouch. This frontier over here is where I'm gonna put my property, my compound. But yeah, if I have property, you would still have to pay, man. Not Boone. Boone is fine, I guess. As long as he doesn't become a power-hungry energy vampire and we have to smite him. Like, God will literally smite you, man. Just like he smited Westy. He smote Ethan with meth addiction. He smote Ethan with a crack addiction. Ethan may smoke some crack. Ethan may turn on you and go psycho. And then pretend he's better than you. Ethan may do that a lot. Pretty much every time you talk to Ethan, actually. So, but maybe he's just a Capricorn. Hey, why do you sound like you're laughing at me? Oh shit, how many? There's a whole bunch of animals down there. Hello, I am no threat to you. Oh shit, I called a train over. Ah, it's a train! Ah, it's a train! Don't run a train, Diddy! Run, Forrest, run! It's Diddy! Run from Diddy, Forrest! Run! Did they keep your shrimp away from Bubba Gump? Did they keep your shrimp away from Bubba Gump? Run, Forrest! He's trying to have a freak off! Okay, so this is where I'm going to put my cabin tent. And I'm going to put a little fire pit. And I'm going to have fires and play guitar out here. And I get a little bit of a view of the mountains. You know, I like to feel like I'm in a crater. I like to be in a crib. I was born and placed in an incubation chamber immediately because the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. And I was flown in a helicopter away from my family. And then I grew up in a refrigerator box, and then I was shoved in closets and tortured for a while. And then I got out, and then I became homeless. Ow. So I kind of like my den. And I'm stuck in the Pleroma. And Diddy's trying to have a freak off with me and Forrest Gump. And it's okay because I live out here. Diddy can't get me out here. I'm hiding somewhere deep in the mountains of Wyoming. It's just me and a bunch of buffalo on a hill. And Diddy will never be able to find me out here, I'll tell you that much. But you know what can find me? Chemtrails. Why are they out here? And what do they want? Why do these clouds look so cool? Look at that. Where do you live? Is it as cool as this? It's actually much cooler. It's just I'm in a part where nobody really goes to. Nobody really comes out here. But me. Okay. So I'm in the firmament. I'm trapped in the firmament, and you're all reptiles. So, Bubba Gump stole my bitch. Okay. I can't do anything till the cabin tent gets here, but hopefully I can get this tent stove on Marketplace for $100. I need to find a way to make $100, which means I have to wait for a snowstorm, and a couple hours before the snowstorm I have to go to local businesses and ask if they don't mind me shoveling all day for them through the whole storm just for $20. I said, give me $20 and I will shovel for the whole day. I'm doing a cycle of 7 different businesses, and they're all paying me $20. So at the end of it, I have $140 plus whatever I make at my regular shoveling gig. And with that, I'll be able to buy a tent stove. So even though it's really nice right now, in the future, man, it's gonna get fucking freezing. I barely made it last week, and I had 3 sleeping bags, a hand warmer, and I was in a tent. And I still woke up and my feet were like blistering. And when I got out of the tent in like -5, -10 wind chill, it fucking hurt, fam. I was like, my skin started peeling. But last year, I don't know how I made it last year. When you have hypothermia, it feels warm. So I was just kind of walking around and I was like, this isn't bad at all. And then I eventually like sat down and I checked and I had a 106-degree fever. And I was like, couldn't move my hands going to the McDonald's to warm up. And I would just kind of lay there and I'd run my Mr. Buddy heater. My tent didn't have stakes at one point, and it was just held up by insulation board and not a lot, just like 2 tiny bits of insulation board, a foam mattress, little tiny one that I found in the dumpster, 3 or 4 sleeping bags, all my clothes I built into a nest, and then just tied to a tree branch on some pallets. And I would lay in that, run the Mr. Buddy heater for 45 seconds. I'd count to 30 just to make sure, and then turn it off. And then the heat on the metal grate on the Mr. Buddy heater, I would use, and I'd curl up against, and that would get me just enough warmth for my body to feel safe enough to be allowed to fall asleep. And then I would pass out and I would wake up pretty much close to death. Like when my body knew it was about to go and I would hit that survival adrenaline, I would be forced awake, and then I would have to like move my arms really quickly, run the Mr. Buddy heater again, stop my fingers from chipping. And I did that for like 3 weeks straight. So that's me. Now, don't get lost. It's kind of hard to get lost when you can't really go anywhere. I'll show you. There's a big ravine over here. Hello, squirrel. Are we friends yet? Well, go fuck yourself. You can't have my nut, bitch. Who walked over here? Can anyone identify these tracks for me? Is it a fucking deer? Is it a fucking deer that went around this way? Are these fucking deer tracks? I don't know. But this is why I chose this place. I chose this place because of this ravine right here. That's where society is. And I went the long way around. I got a ticket for the long way around. I take a big shit in the snow. And then I forget where I put it. And I probably step on it down the road. You know what I'm saying? Bella the hunter, what do you hunt, man? What do you hunt, man? I've been thinking about a girl named Bella for a long time. I don't know why. It's like I'll be sitting at night and she will show up like she's literally there. And then the next night there will be a different girl. And the next night there will be a different girl. And some nights there are like 6 girls. But every night I'm visited by girls. And I think they're manifesting me. And I think it's because I'm a Sagittarius. If you guys didn't know, Sagittarius on the zodiac is the perfect husband and father energy. Sagittarians are the husbands and the fathers. Sagittarius women, a lot of them are like more lesbian than straight. You know what I'm saying? Who dares defile my day with your fucking presence? It was eBay. So I wish I had stones, because I would, right here where this birch tree is, I would pleroma. I would pleroma. I would put a stone way station here. I'm supposed to talk to a business development program in the community action sector of the state about getting an RV because homeless people to work need showers. Prejudice in the community trespasses them from gyms so that they can't use showers. So there's no space to put a shower. So I, the genius I am, out here in the forest, was like, pay for my RV instead of putting a shower, pay for an RV. And I will make sure that twice a week they show up at your place on a schedule. They know that Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. the showers are available. The guy with the camper pulls in. He has it stocked fresh and warm, and you can shower for 20 minutes at a time. Wash yourselves, get warm. He'll even give you a fucking hot coffee. I'll cook a hot coffee for him, man. And then I'll tell him, scram, you goddamn raccoon, stop, get off. I'm trying to play Minecraft with Boone on the internet. So then they scurry out, and I make some money in my pocket, and they pay for my RV. How about them apples, you fucking accuser of the brethren? Are you still here? I can still feel the dull energy of the evil crows hanging out, trying to siphon all my life force. Lucky for you, I quit smoking, which means I'm too peaceful to fight you. I have too much good vibes because I'm not smoking any cigarettes. It's been a few days since I quit smoking, and you guys don't know, if habitual smokers, they usually, like, if you smoke a lot of cigarettes, what they say about your blood vessels constricting from the damage of the chemicals that get put into your bloodstream is true. Luckily, I haven't been smoking for 4 decades. I've only been smoking for like 3 years, and I haven't really been smoking a pack a day. It's more like 4 a day. And I exercise, I walk around a lot. So it ain't that bad, but it got pretty bad the past couple weeks. I tell you what, chat, when I woke up this morning, or last night, in the middle of the night, and the blood fucking returned to my legs, and I felt what it was like to have blood in my toes again. Oh my God, chat. Holy shit. It was like I could just warm up my body at will. It's like I wasn't dead. Isn't that crazy? Even though we're all dead and we're in pleroma. My hair is so beautiful. Thank you, man. I grew it myself. I'm from pleroma. So, you fucking accuser of the brethren. Later. For 2 years. I've been homeless for 12 years. I'm 26. I have been homeless since I was 14, man. This is the way, the truth, and the life. There's nothing else. Everything else is the false light. It's fake. It's comfort. This is the real world. Me and the birds, right? There's too much gunk in my system. I can send some electricity that makes them go. But y'all know that energy is so potent, you guys go right to the bedroom. Motherfuckers. I know I make you horny. Put that on my Indeed, put that on my LinkedIn. Professional crow antagonizer. Make squirrels horny every morning. Okay? Thank you. Natty Bulk, I'm trying my best, but I am homeless. There's nothing really I can do. I could go find some wood, no diddy. Can't really do push-ups till I get a tent stove because it's too cold and there's no real space to do it, and I don't have any gloves. I guess I could be being a little bit of a bitch, but it gets about -15. It do be getting around -15 a lot. Right now, it seems like there's just some unusual level of high vibrational Schumann response, resonance energy hitting the planet, and it's kind of supercharging everything. So even though it's like 0 degrees out, it's not cold at all because there's just so much energy and heat radiation coming from the sun. Even though the world is cold while it's the daytime, like when it hits nighttime, it's going to be like -10. It's fucking freezing, and I'm in the mountains, and there are crows, and I can't kill them. But it is what it is. Town Buster? Chi-Town Buster? He's from the rack? You from the rack, man? How come you look like you from East Tennessee? My granddaddy ran shine down in East Tennessee. Maybe that's where I got my need for speed. I sell it illegal to people numbing their pain. I'm a little crazy, but the world's insane. Oh! It's nice with me muck boots, I'll tell you what. Chat, I've been thinking a lot about Ireland. Making my way downtown, walking fast. I'm deep in the mountains of New England. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. The crow was like, I found food. And I went, shut up. And I went, come on. The crow was like, leave us alone. Watch out, he remembers you. Yeah, there's like 150 that know me. I'm the king of the crows around these parts, fella. I'll tell you that much. I'm the king of the crows. They just get a little feisty. But I'll tell you what. They gonna learn. They gonna learn when I get a crow call. They gonna learn when I get a trombone and I'm like... And they go... Ah! That's right, bitch. How does it feel? How does it feel? Now that you must submit to the will of the king of the crows. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, it ain't that bad. I have you guys just chilling on my bathroom right now. It's where I piss. But this is where I'm at. Abandoned 100-year-old sugaring shack on top of a mountain. 40 black-capped chickadees, about 15 to 20 robins, a couple blue jays, a couple crows, an eagle that would come in, a baby eagle, a couple hawks. Like there was and with the wildfires, they would, we'd see birds that are not native to this place that have been kind of going with the wind because their land burned down. So we'd find golden eagles here this year. We didn't find any like really cool stuff, but there were some birds that looked like rainbows and they weren't grackles. There was some really weird stuff I'd never seen this year. But we don't really see many goldfinches or anything. I wish we did more. Sometimes I see a little bit of finch action, but not much up these parts. I saw a Cooper's hawk the other day, which is pretty fucking cool. Cooper's hawks aren't afraid of people at all, or dogs. So they will just pop out right in front of your window, and they're hunting your kittens, which is pretty fucking cool. Because hawks tend to like something about the way I act and move. Hawks will follow me. Especially there's this place called Eagle Point in Newport, Vermont. And I used to go all the way up there when I had enough money door dashing saved. And to get to Eagle Point, there's this long dirt road straight through a wildlife preservation. So you would see deer and bear and moose and all these things just hanging out in the fields. And I would drive down that bitch 60 miles an hour, turn and look, and there's a fucking peregrine falcon flying the same speed as me, which means it swooped down and leveled with my car. And one time I had this bad police brutality. They used excessive force and subjected me to torture. And I survived and I made it through 3 days of jail. The charge was dropped because they didn't want to get the cops in trouble. But after I got out, I was just like really drained and traumatized and wandering around like an empty zombie because they raped all my energy out and tortured me. And I I walked like 10 miles that day just fighting. I'm gonna figure this shit out. And then a red-tailed hawk flew right above me like this, and it dropped a feather on the ground right in front of me. And then I found out that that's really significant in my native cultures. You know, it's so cool. I thought I was white and there was just something really wrong with me. That's why I can't get along with anyone out here. Then I found out I'm native and Irish, and everything made sense. I looked back at all the girls I dated, and the things I liked about them the most was that they were some thick-ass natives. They were some natives that were built like Africans in the dump, you know what I'm saying? They were some bad bitches. And I loved them a lot. And they rode horses. And some of them had a lot of money and were from wealthy families. And some of them, two of them were Puerto Rican, which is pretty cool. They were all very, very cool, but the world was crazy. David Dobrik was the most subscribed, or the most popular channel. David Dobrik, man, that was obviously a Satanist. David Dobrik and oh, by the way, go look at your favorite streamers' clips. They're doing that where you think it's an IRL stream. That's in a warehouse. Most of these streamers, like Valkyrie, Saikuno, Corpse, and even smaller ones, like the industry will go down to like 5K Andes. Some of your 5K Andes, like Action Man and just like smaller YouTubers, a lot of them are contracted by the US government. And they are literally, you think that it's a like mansion. You think that they're living in a mansion. Really? They're in a fucking warehouse. And there's like 30 of them stacked like sardines in soundproof rooms. And they just have a team of writers that use AI, and they script events. They pay attention to what stimulates the children's minds. They use occult, Kabbalion, esotericism, and they do Freemason rituals. And they're all in on it. Will Survives talked about it, and now he does not talk about it at all anymore. Aiden Ross talked about it, and he's proud now. He was like, yeah, I went to the white shirt parties, and they didn't rape Aiden, he took it. But Kai Cenat they raped, and then Kai Cenat, people caught him blowing some executives. You know, like at Streamer University. Hello, Crow. Circling me. Yeah, Kai Cenat got caught sucking dick. He was blowing some rich white dude. You know, sketch. As soon as he became extremely famous, it was revealed that all of his gay porn got released to the internet that he used to do. Diddy's trying to have a freak off with Bubba Gump, I'm telling you. Source? Google. Just Google it. Say Faze Lacey rituals. Faze Lacey rituals. And Lacey will tell you. You can find a clip on the internet. Lacey will tell you, yeah, when I got to a certain level of fame, Aiden Ross brought me into this back room of some place, and they all came out of this room beyond the room full of blood, and they made me drink the blood, and I didn't know what it was, but they've been making me do it for a while now. And then he would post for the next like couple months. He would just say, yeah, Chet, I'm about to go do another ritual. Kevin Hart, Jay-Z, Dwayne Johnson, they talk in their podcast, they talk about, hey, did you ever find out what's in that room beyond the room? And they're like, what? Yeah, the room beyond the room. What goes on in that room beyond the room is a child sacrifice. I know a carpenter in Vermont that has built one of those rooms under a local church. It's completely soundproof and it locks from the outside. It's got the checkerboard pattern on the floor. The demons that I see, they're blue. They look a lot like Some of, like, I think the more powerful they are, the more crystals they have on their head, and the more eyes they have on their head. And like the lower life forms, or maybe they're just different races of that species. Some of them have horns. They look a lot like Doja Cat in the music video Demons, and they look a lot like Brendan Urie from the music video Emperor's New Clothes. Emperor's New Clothes, it's your vessel, bruh. So that's real, and I'm from Pleroma, and you're all reptiles. So, just saying, I used to really want to fight to be famous, and it never happened. But I fought to be a stand-up comedian that would riff. Didn't work out, so I ended up driving my Dodge Magnum around with a little rocket emblem glued to my dashboard when I would think about stand-up. And then the next year after that, Casey Rocket blows up with Adam Ray. I used to really want to be a streamer, and I wanted to be a streamer that would get buff and would get a bunch of girls on and would dance on camera because I love dancing. And I was like, I want to just do this. Oh my God, it didn't work out. But then Kai Cenat met Ray and blew up. I used to want to I was eating a lot of food, sitting in my car, really just wish that I would be able to play video games for a living, and it didn't work out. But then we got Queso. Really wanted to make country music, didn't work out. And it was really just country. The music I was making was trying to show me that what people did to me wasn't my fault. It ain't my fault they kicked me my whole life and left me out dysfunctioning. And I wish you would call me back so I can hear you hide the truth. We got something wrong inside, and that's why I'm in love with you. That didn't work out, but Cassius Culpepper made Who Hurt You? You didn't make your daddy leave you and your mama. You didn't make that girl that broke you break her promise. There's people here that will call the police. Didn't ask Uncle Sam to sell your friends to that foreign land. It's time you face the truth. It ain't the man in the looking glass who hurt you. Whoa. Look at this view. Really? No, your mental well-being sucks. You're boring. You're a loser. And you're a retard. You sit in front of a camera and talk and see how long you can go, man. People at first think that I'm crazy. But the longer they spend with me out here, they realize that there's nobody better. I'm actually the most mentally well, which is crazy. It's crazy that everyone is crazy, you know? And the older you get, the more you realize that. Look at that barn way out there. When I first got here, I used to walk this all the time. I'd follow the railroad tracks all the way up to that farm up there. And I saw an insectoid once. It was like 10 feet tall, skinny, humanoid, bright white light. But the sun was shining on it, so it wasn't as bright as it could have been. Just walked out of the woods and looked at me, and then walked back into the woods. And I was sitting there saying, if there's an alien, you can show me, please. If there's an alien, just show me. Crow. I triggered all the crows with my intentions. But yeah, that did happen. Oh, I think I'm farther than I've ever been because the snow has caked over the... Oh, no, I'm not. I know where I'm at. This is where I was going to go, but everybody knew where this was. And there was a really creepy guy that came out here once and was just kind of hovering around me, twitching. But this was the original... What up, Jason? Good to see you, man. This is pretty cool, right? The only problem is it doesn't really get much sun. The other place has a lot of sun. I do like, if you listen, you can hear the babbling river. The crows aren't too far, but they're not extreme. They're not like over my head like they are in the other place. Shut up. Fuck you. You're gonna do it all day? Bitch, I'll eat your babies. I'll eat your babies like you did Vivek's. All right. I was gonna put it here, and this is pretty cool. And it's a good place to have a fire. And the smoke would dissipate in these pine needles. So not a lot of it would raise if I did it like right here. But it's kind of too far from everything. And it's a lot colder when there's no sunlight. And there's no big ravine blocking me and the other people. We're gonna see how much this is blocked. What's my charge at? 66%, dude. I can go all day. Jason, I feel that a lot. I don't know if was I in a competition with Kurt Cass, Kendrick Curry, Kai Cenat, Queso, Blake Backert? You know, I definitely was in kind of a competition with the Kelly Creative Collective because they saw me on TikTok and trademarked my name because I was performing at their venues. So they trademarked the KCC, but then the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl anyway. I'd like to think that it's God's plan. And every setback is for a major comeback and a life lesson learned. You know, I was really, really like close to suicide because I kept losing all the time. But then it turns out Kai Cenat gets raped. You know, it turns out Aiden Ross has to get fucked by Jewish people in ancient rituals. Hi, bird. Are you yeah, you're a chickadee. And why is this orange? That's a beaver? No, it's not. It's a fallen tree. I didn't bring my hatchet. I should have. I brought my soda instead. So I don't feel that bad anymore because I know at the end of the day, I could become a streamer. I could do all that stuff. And I look younger than Kai Cenat. Maybe I'm kind of delusional. I don't think so. Kai Cenat his skin kind of looks like it's fallen off a little bit. It looks like the stress got to him lately. Well, the point is that if I wanted to become a famous streamer, that's not off the table. But with the way technology is going, the only way to live the life I lived and be in this war zone, fighting, to really have these amazing experiences that I went through, the only way to do that would have been to do it at this specific time. What the hell is this? I think you should just take a piece of paper and write down everything you wanted from your life that you feel like you didn't have, and then like really strip it to the bare minimum. And most people find that they did get exactly what they were looking for, but they got it in a way that protected them from a lot of bad stuff. Like they got better than they were expecting. It just wasn't what they were expecting. I'm not going to climb on this because I can't see the ice under it. The point I'm making is that I watch Kai Cenat streams, or really I watch his clips. I watch Queso videos. I watch Kurt Kaz travel vlogs. I watch Casey Rocket on stage. Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and then the next year everybody forgot and nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't a big deal as soon as the next year rolled around. Then it was the Cowboys, and then it was the Eagles or whatever. Which is how the world went, if you didn't realize. It went Indians, Cowboys, nature. And right now the white people are really struggling to bring back colonialism, and it's just not going to work. We're actually headed towards more tribal times. We're going back and we're re-sowing that part. Because we made it through the 50s and 60s. I mean, 60s type music, you're going to see a big pop off of people that sound like the Beatles. I think Aviram is blowing up right now on Facebook. That's the sound that's going to hit next, because we're in a 6 year. So last year was the 50s, so we had a blow up of like the... We had like traditional pilgrim type colonialist stuff, but we also had that sort of jazzy blues, red and black sort of sound. You know what I'm saying? And next year there's gonna be like a big golden 60s vibe. But we're headed back into darkness. It won't be the dark waters like 2022 was, where it will be these bright colors, and it'll be green and orange coated. That was 2022. Green and orange, bright colors. 2023 was like orange, red, blue. It was very bright. And then it had like a nice, deep, warm black and red confidence, with some gold shimmering. And then 2024 was like this dull gray, this deep, wise energy with gray, but kind of vivid. And then 2025 was bright, like lighter. It was a 9 year. It was yellow skies, and that really shapes how as a human being you walk through the world. The heavens change colors. The electromagnetic energy changed frequencies. So next year it's going back into darkness. Every 2 years it goes back into darkness, but next year there's going to be no water at all. Dude, I love Casey Rocket. Wanted, dead or alive. This is going to be we're going to take over, this year we're going to take over this school. Tell me someone who did what Casey Rocket did on Kill Tony anywhere else in comedy ever. Comedy's about fun, and Casey Rocket was just about the funnest vibe comedy has seen in a while. Like, even Patrice O'Neal, he was like a witty guy. He was a genius. Casey Rocket was more of a feral genius, which is what I wanted to express. You know, that's very Casey coded. They're all just reflections of me, man. I'm gonna Blair Witch this set. All I want for Christmas is a Percocet. So, why are you looking at you should be looking at the trail, man. So that was really cool. There's no real way around this. There's not a lot of noise either. How do I charge my phone? I used to go behind Mountain Lion Plaza, and there was a business that would let me charge my devices. I started off just charging my phone, And it meant that every day I had to go through a war zone where people were trying to kill me a lot, actually. I'm not bullshitting. Like, people would throw scrap metal, wrenches, fucking full-ass cans of beer, cigarettes, and shit like that. And they would be driving 60 down this mountain road right off the highway. And they would bean me in the back. They would hit me as I'm walking with cigarette butts and stuff. And it was torture. They would lie to the police. And I'd have to curl up in the cold and charge my stuff for as long as I could make it. And then I would crawl back, lifeless and drained, fighting, into my den, and I would hide through the snow. Eventually, because of the donations, mainly from one subscriber, I got a new phone. That broke. I got another phone. Survived a couple hurricanes. Got some portable batteries. They died. I got new portable batteries. They died. But eventually I got enough for an Anchor power bank and a brain worm. I'm not Will Survives, but I might be an ancient oversoul that sort of guides Will Survives through the ether and is managing many, many content creators in spirit. But I am a guy in the woods. I've been homeless since I was 14, and I grew up on a mountain alone in an abandoned ski resort building with Legos, wandering around alone with the birds. And now it's like I have horrible trauma. But the point was, I have an Anchor power bank, and that laundromat that trespassed me because some random person came in and attacked me, and I had to pick him up, throw him on the ground, and hack him up with a hatchet. That laundromat, eventually the trespass ran off, that guy quit, and now I'm probably going to be taking over that laundromat. They need people to clean it. They need people to empty the whatchamacallit? The laundry things. So I'm slowly just crawling my way through hell into a position where I can change the world. Starting in one town in the exact center of my state, deep in the mountains. Like you'd have to walk about 30 miles in any direction to get to any form of higher populated area. There's nothing out here, man. Just me. Just me and a bunch of inbred cranky yokels mad at their cell phone because they're slave to the Jews. Are you just comfortable being homeless? In today's world, this is the closest thing you'll ever get to being a real man. You know, if you did it the other way, you'd be a bitch. Like, you could work a job. You could even homestead once you had money. You could live in a van with a job and travel. But you will never, in your life, reach being a real human being and a real man until you have absolutely nothing and you're in a faraway place and everybody is angry at your presence and they're trying to encourage people to come kill you, and you have to fight people sometimes to the death. Like, it's a miracle they survived some of these fights that I've been in. And have nothing, starving, cold, trudging, extremely depressed. Everyone you love is gone, consumed by the system. And the only thing that makes you feel better is that you look up and you're like, why? And then you get a shooting star right above you. And you're like, can you hear me? Shooting star again. I'm like, okay, go right to left if you love me. Nothing. Go right to left if I'm on the right path. Nothing. Go right to left if I should go back to the cabin. Left to right if I should go get a storage unit. And then I'm walking down the street 2 hours later, and then a giant UFO left to right above the cabin, and then a giant UFO right to left above where I am right now. So the mountain that I was on is on the other side of these trees, about 2,000 feet up, and we're already pretty high above sea level. Is this chaga mushrooms? This is a big clump of melanin. This is the stuff that makes black people black. Just grown out of this tree right here. I'm in Appalachia. I'm very far into the mountains. And there's really only there's a couple manufacturing plants. Couple farms, and there's not much else. They survive mainly on tourism. And one big parent company bought all the ski resorts. Yeah, the mountain that I live on with the cabin is about 3 times, 4 times the size of that hill right there. It's a vanilla Coke. Unless you meant bear. I'm a bear, no homo. I hate that they call big burly gay men bears. I wish that they would call them something gayer. Because bears are fucking cool. Bears are like the epitome of masculinity. Like, bears are more I think bears are more masculine than lions. I think bears are really the king. There's just no bears in the desert. And humanity spawned from the desert, I guess. So they picked the lion in their symbolism back then. But King Arthur is a story about a bear. Art, the root art, is Celtic for bear. King Arthur is a story about a great bear. Because bears are the king of the world. Polar bears obviously are the king of the world. And they're starving, and they're cold, and they're freezing. And they're coming inside grizzly bears. And now we have growler bears. Which sucks because it means that the biggest land animal, like the biggest bear, is going to get a lot smaller because they've all died out. And it means that if you have a polar bear fur, I don't know, polar bear furs right now are about $11,000 to $30,000. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Come on. Leave me the fuck alone, crow. Holy smokes. They just try to magnetize all the information out of my head. Shut up. And then when I bring it back, you can tell that it's working and I'm not crazy because they get worse. They get angrier when I focus over here. See? Come on, show them. Did you at least get to see it? That they're circling me? Because I'm not fucking crazy. I've just been out here. If you came out here for a week, you'd realize everything I said was true. And you would respect me for my strength. What I've been through. And what I've overcome bravely. What was I saying about King Arthur being a bear? Another growler bear. Oh, I could invest in a polar bear rug. That would be a pretty cool family heirloom. I'd really like to build a castle. I don't know how to preserve it forever. Like, I want the longevity that Brian Boru had. I want to be known 1,000 years in the future. See, crow right above my head right there. The crow went right above my head. Hear him? Yeah, it's like I'm not lying. Now your turn. Come on. Come on. They're angry. Crows are these festering demonic balls of evil. And they try to magnetize all the good out. Shut the fuck up. I just try to activate my heart for 2 seconds. Try to bring the energy back to my heart space. And they can't handle it. But what's cool is that as I'm walking and talking, I'm picking up this woodland energy. And it's healing. It's weaving into my system. And embedding. And I can use it. And it wraps around and grows into me. No diddy. And without cigarettes, it's opening up my throat chakra. And that's making the crows pretty mad. What do I eat? I just got, with the last of my food stamps, I got I got 10 20 gram of protein Chipotle burrito Hot Pockets. So I can just throw one in my bag when I go into town, heat it up in the microwave at the gas station, ask them if they have any leftover food they threw out. If not, that's all I eat is one Hot Pocket. And that's pretty much it. Sometimes I'll get a couple bags of chips on the first of the month. And the rest I usually just have protein drinks. Because that makes me feel better. We've gone on the walk. We've gone on the epic walk. How do I get food stamps with no address? How do homeless people get food stamps? Hey, hey, hey. I'm going all the way over here. And there's nothing you can do about it, bitch. All over here to me. All on me. I got everything, I got everything. I cannot complain, I cannot. I don't even know how much I really made. I forgot. It's not a lot. Fuck that. I don't have anything at all. Fuck off. I need a rooster. Shay Pila, people here will feed crows treats and the crows will bring back gifts. Yeah, but they're also energetic vessels for the Antichrist. You know? You feed a demon a baby and it gives you power in this realm, according to Jeffrey Epstein and the cult that worships the all-seeing eye on the back of your dollar bill. The Eye of Saturn. The hexagon inside the Star of David, the hexagon storm at the top of Saturn. Capricorn, or the GOAT, LeBron James. Shut the fuck up. They implant ancient kings of hell inside these vessels, and they remove the soul from the body to do it. But really, they kind of put him in the sunken place. And that's the whole point of Get Out, by the way. Is marketing off bodies to people's ancestral spirits so that they can come back to this realm. Shut the fuck up. See how I made him stop with my mind? I'm the king of the crows. Stop. Stop. He's coming closer more aggressively. The crow was mad that I put him in his place. What do you want, bitch? Huh? Yeah. 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 Shut the fuck up. Shut up. He left. What do you think about farming cows? We're housing cows. Hey, Lost Girl 6522. You're gone forever, you retard. Bye. Why don't you try living outside for a couple months? What do you think about farming cows? I'd love to farm cows. And farm girls are the baddest bitches in New England I've ever seen. I love horse girls. I hate Republicans. I don't know what is going on these horse ranches that make them feel the way they do about everything in life. But they're fucking retards, man. I see a bunch of inbred retards. I don't know how they got that much money. I don't know how they got that much land. And it's pretty fucking obvious. Most of them are really fucking obese. You know? I don't really see any real respect for those people. I don't know how they got it, man. It might be nepotism. It might be their great grandpappy raped a couple Indians in a den, and then he'd wake up in the morning and force them to pick his cotton or something. And then down the line, that organization of inbred whites opportunity to someone through nepotism. Because if I wanted to start farming cows, I could probably have 2 cows, but that wouldn't really get me much. Because there's nobody really around that has the money to buy organic food anymore. But goats, eggs, having goats and chickens, I think horse girls ride too hard. No, they don't. They know exactly the right way to do it. Horse girls are my favorite. There's nothing better than horse girls. I'd pick a horse girl over a goth girl any day, but she cannot, once she's with me, she's never going back to that disturbing family she has. I'm so grateful for her parents to get her to become a horse girl. I'm so grateful for the culture. But you know what? You're a bunch of inbred retards that are all going to hell, you hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? She'll be a horse girl the right way. Maybe I'll come back and scalp you and burn your village. I'm not native, I'm ancient Egyptian. I'm the secret native tribe they don't tell you about. Up there in the Cree with the pyramids. If the ancient Egyptians were African, they would have hieroglyphed some dump trucks. You know what I'm saying? We would be able to look at those hieroglyphs and see a dumpy the size of Texas. And you would see some Africans that were wearing some goddamn feathers. But what you see is that you have natives which look kind of white to someone who's uneducated. But to someone who is educated, you can obviously tell that we're sort of grayer. We're alien people. We're from the star people. And we hate crows. The Crow Indians are actually called the Absolute. It means children of the Thunderbird, not the crows. It has nothing to do with crows. They all saw crows as a pest. Because they are. And the Hawaiians kill them when they show up. Hawaiians kill crows when they come onto the land because it destroys Ho'oponopono. When crows are around, you can't give freely to everybody because the crows take and take and take and hoard the gold like the ancient dragons they are. Ho'oponopono. Where's my super suit? I'm gonna blow my nose into this. Hopa no no no. What do I think about snakes? Ancient reptiles, I believe. I met them. As an 11, I am a gateway to other dimensions. And that doesn't mean that there's like it's not just like a deep pit in my mind. There's a little doorway opening. And then I can see them. That just depends on the astrological season and the numerological day and month in the system of the infinite, channeled through and funneled into this experience and realm. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it is like a little blip out there, and then I see a bunch of grays going, the lizard people are going to fuck your shit up, and then driving 60 down the road, some kid breaks his hand punching the top of my window when I was 14. Sometimes it's like my brother is withdrawing from crack in the back seat, and I look through his mind and see his mind open up, and I see the blue demons controlling him that look like aliens to people that don't think that they're demons, but they're demons. Hey, look, a bird going right to left. Hey, my birds are here. Hey, guy. Dude, look. And then I would see them, and they would fuck with me and attack me through him, and I would feel them attack me through him, and then he would start ripping ass, farting this disgusting, disgusting smell I've never smelled before in my life, like just death of these demonic entities I was casting out of him, fighting these spirits. And part of that is that there are reptilians. There are grays. No. I don't even have a wood stove. Sometimes if it's really cold, I pop a hand warmer and I hide. I just got a heated sleeping bag. I mean, I'm saving money for phone service. Phone service to me get to work. Sometimes when it snows, I get work shoveling. Saving up for a tent stove. I just saved up and I got a loan from somebody that I just paid off with working during snowstorms for a quilted cabin tent. So I'm just trying to get a tent stove for that, which is between 120 and 300, which is a lot of money for me. So I have a Cash App and a Venmo, and it's like between 120 and 300, but I have, I think, $18 right now. You don't have to, but at some point, if you'd like to, it's in my channel bio. I have my Cash App and my Venmo. I have a GoFundMe, but I haven't posted it yet. Because when I post it, nobody really does anything with it. They've been telling me to make one for years. I keep making them, and then nobody does anything with it. Oh, fuck you. As far as reptilians go, yeah, I mean, like, on full moons, I'll wake up in the middle of the woods, and it feels like there's like this huge, kind of like a Guardian from Black Ops 2, or like a microwave or a 5G, whatever, pointed at me going, wow, 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 and the energy's, like, dense and feels like, just like action, not real, like the uncanny valley, and then all the birds are gone. Just like even as I'm describing this, the birds are like, what the hell's going on? You hear them? They're like, what the fuck? And then I'll see, like, my mind will open, and literally I'll see, the first thing I saw was this tall, elongated head wearing a black, gold with gray runes robe, and it had tiny eyes. Pretty decent jawline, but not like a man jawline, you know? It was like different, but it had a jaw and a mouth, just a small mouth, gray eyes, and it was floating above me, and it had this aggressive not aggressive, but just violent nature to it. It was like this dark sort of violence with no emotion at all. Um, hovering over me with like this authority. And then I was like, what? Block. And then a little tiny, as I was like, keeping my energy open, like commingling with these things, a small gray jumped out and I saw it floating really tiny right here. I appreciate it, Ann. No worries. I'm trying to get money so I can pay some. I wanted to give my subscribers that donated dinner. I've been trying to work on that, but it didn't happen this month. But I did see this little gray floating and like laughing at me kind of in front of the phone, and it was showing me that while I'm on my phone, they're messing with me, and I'm just distracted by staring at my screen all day. Then they both disappeared, and it looked like a T-Rex head that was red emerged from under me. So these things were talking to me up here, something way, way bigger than those things under here went like at me, and it was really angry and it was really mad, and then all of a sudden, whoa, and then they all were forced, like I wasn't able to see them anymore. But for the next day, I felt like they were still on me. I've seen a lot of stuff like that. And then, whether you believe it or not, I didn't talk about it for my whole childhood. I never mentioned it. Sometimes I would mention it to my mom and she'd be like, why are you telling fibs? I'm like, I don't think they're fibs. Because I'll talk about something I'm seeing in spirit, and then in spirit I'll see something, sort of like I'll feel like a branch cracking a little bit. And then you heard that loud noise behind me. The Celts believed there was no difference between your inner and outer world. The Celts lived in the 8th house. But that's what I found out, is that my sun, Mercury, and Pluto are all in the 8th house. In Sagittarius. If you just go look up what the 8th house is, you'll be like, oh shit, it's actually Casey's entire life. His sun sign, his job in the world, it is in the 8th house. Everything he talks about that he's working on is exactly what someone with those strong 8th house placements would be working on. And then you find out the 11 and my name's Acacia, after the acacia tree, the tree of life. It's like, okay. He was created. So, hold on. Let me answer some questions. What do I think about the English Bible? I don't know. I was talking to somebody about it yesterday. We'd have no idea if they were bullshitting. Like, I will get messages from spirit and they do come true. When I'm alone, I am working with energies probably across the world. And I have dreams where I'm on a throne made of usually sometimes it's like everybody else is in kindergarten chairs and I'm in a recliner, even though they're all adults, like Andrew Tate and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like I'm out in the woods and I'm in this giant throne woven from plants that grew from the ground into a throne and around me. Not in me, I'm still separate, but it's like a throne that I grew with nature. And then Andrew Tate is like sitting in a really shitty plastic throne made by some cheap manufacturer. And I'm lecturing him on what it's like to actually be a king. I'm like, this is what you're trying to do. This is why you're not going to get it. This is why you're not going to be a king. You're not meant for this. I am. You can't control crows. And then his brother and his dad are there usually. Like, I'll have another dream I had. I was this giant and I was trapped in a small room, and it was a locked door, and they kept sending in people to fight me and challenge me. And I had to kill them all. I could feel the blood on my hand. I can still smell it, the iron in it. and everything. And I could see the energy that was wafting. It was like I was really there. And then at the end of it, Emery Tate walked in with two 10-year-old boys that I didn't know. And I didn't know it was Emery Tate until 2022 when Andrew Tate popped off, and I saw that those kids were them. I had dreams army through Los Angeles, and we stormed Aiden Ross's mansion, and we took over his castle, and we went live. Like, it all happened live where we took over Aiden's castle, and I gave the world the truth, and I woke everybody up all at once, and then everybody went outside. Shut the fuck up. Huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I judge you. I have dreams like that. I have dreams where people I don't know are in my dream and they're asking me for a favor, and I kind of look at where they're at and what their energy is like, and I decide, usually I give it to them. So like one time I was sitting in a restaurant and there was this older black gentleman with grayish hair, and there was this really young mixed girl full of like this bright kind of charisma, whatever. She was kind of beaming, having a good time, but they were just walking alone out there. And I was in this extremely fancy restaurant sitting in a booth to myself. Like, I had my own section and I didn't have to pay for it or anything. I think I owned the business. But there was all these rich and famous people in there paying me money to be there. And I was just kind of looking on, and I looked out the window and they were running around. And I was like, I opened the window and I was like, to the girl, I was like, has anybody given you any water? Like, are people taking care of you? Because she was just alone out there with this guy. And the guy was kind of like barely hanging around with her. They were both just kind of wandering in circles out there. And she was like, no. And I was like, well, here, fucking take one. Here. And then the guy I suddenly felt was her father. And he was really, like, he was like a real one. And he was like, I could feel like he was like confused because my skin tone was not black, but my energy was like ancient. He was really confused at that because he expected, like, I don't think he had ever met somebody like me before. And he was really happy that I like took care of his daughter. And he also wanted a water. So I hadn't made the decision in the dream yet whether I was going to give him the water or not. I woke up. But then scrolling on the internet that day was the first time I ever saw Cinna, whose name is Brittany, or Brian, Irish for Hill. I'm Casey O'Brien. Exalted. And I saw her for the first time that day. And then I found Black Hoodie, which is her dad, and that was her dad. I met them both, and I gave them a water from whatever I was doing in my kingdom. And they were sort of hovering around me, and I gave them something that allowed them to become extremely famous. And those are the types of dreams I have a lot. And a lot of them I don't really know the people that I'm seeing. I haven't met them yet. But I'll have dreams where, like, every road in my town turns into a river, and I go to this abandoned house and there's a guy in there, and he's like this big, fat, dark-skinned guy, and he's got like this monkey tattoo, and he's sitting there shirtless. Not like a monkey, maybe symbolism of the monkey. I don't think it's more about black people than monkeys. I think it's more about the monkey year. Like, my dad is a fire monkey in Bazi. And he walks around and sits, you know, I wish I could post a video right now to show you. That's a fucking monkey right there. He probably reincarnated. The way you go, what are you talking about? And then he would pick me up by my leg and whip me around the house when I was a kid. Mad. You know? Literally, that's my dad. So, hold on. Let me get back to this. So, another thing is that KC 11-3, King's Cross, Kansas City Chiefs, Kurt Kaz, Cassius Culpepper, Kai Cenat, Queso, Casey O'Brien, Queso, and all this stuff is the 11 is the gateway to other dimensions, and 3 is the divine child. 33 is the divine child, but 3 is the child. And that sort of child 11 1133 is really important in the universe, and whether it's my role or I was created for this or whatever, that symbolism from my life bleeds out into the world. So in Harry Potter, when Harry was about to go to heaven, in the Goblet of Fire, the first one, Dumbledore is saying his names at the Ministry of Magic, and he goes, Albus, Percival, blah, 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 and then he goes, Brian, Dumbledore. They used to call me Queso in high school. So at the end of Harry Potter, spoilers, when he's fighting the Capricorn or the Devil, Voldemort, and he meets who? He meets Brian Dumbledore, and he meets him in King's Cross Station. At the KC station, he meets Brian. And you'll find that in so many things, like in Loki, the show Loki, Casey, and OB or Ouroboros or the 33, the snake eating itself. Defeat Casey, Kang the Conqueror, and Loki becomes the Acacia or Yggdrasil or the Tree of Life. You know, I'm the embodiment of the universe, I guess. I'm like the voice of the generation, I guess. I'm a representation of a teaching, and I'm living simply and perfectly as this ancient, many, many lifetimes of battle, living as a homeless child. The dichotomy, the 11 and the 33, you know, the 11 and the 3, KC. I'm also managing the entire generation through my manifestations. And that's why I'm trickling out into the masses through Kai Cenat, Kendrick Curry, Queso, Kurt Kaz, Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl in the year of the cat. I'm an Earth Cat, 1999. 2023 was the year of the Water Cat. Casey Rocket blew up in 2023 with Adam Ray. Kai Cenat met Ray. Down the road, there's a Casey that runs the homeless program, and then right next door is a church run by a guy named Ray, and then right outside is a guy named Mr. Crow, Corbett. Mr. Crow. And then above that is a big Irish castle for the arts. It's a big stone brick building, old, and it's a giant theater, music hall, where when I got there, the first thing I did was volunteer at the 33rd annual Celtic Music Festival. Do you see what I'm talking about? And it was in a 9-year, 2025, which is Sagittarius energy. Or the snake eating itself, the Ouroboros year, 33. And a 33rd annual Celtic music. Shut the fuck up. What? Last question. Are you worried day to day? Am I worried day to day? I don't really worry, period. But that's not because I'm not anxious. It's because I've turned off that part of my brain in order to survive the things that I did. As like a trauma response in here all day, the only way to survive was to turn off the fear. So I don't really get scared anymore. What? I don't really get scared anymore. At all. Even if there's like a fucking creature out there. Or like when there was one time I walked out of my tent because I thought there was a raccoon, and I turned on the flash, and it was the biggest fucking black bear I've seen in my life, just standing there like really close to me like this. And I went, ah! And I pushed the table at it. Big loud crash. It didn't move. So then I leave, and I sort of lunged at it until it left, but I didn't chase it. And that kind of got my heart pumping, but I wasn't anxious. I was shaky, but I wasn't terrified, you know? It was more like I was looking for my weapon, and I didn't have one. I don't have a pole spear. I need a pole spear, because if it charges me, it's right in its mouth. And then I take off running, and you let it die. Or, I mean, You can climb a tree with a pole spear, drop some meat below you. It's really dangerous, especially if you miss. Like, if you don't drop that right into its skull, it's gonna kill you. Voldemort fights Superman and embodies 11 dwarfs to poop on 33 Harry Potters during Christmas time because he loves to embody the perfect body. Well, maybe. Superman does Superman... I mean, the S in the middle of Casey, C-A... So that's a yin-yang, C and Y. Or it's a dragon with its wings spread. And then the S in the middle. And I used to wear... My favorite shirt, actually, was a Superman shirt. And I do have dreams that I can fly, where I teach myself how to fly, and it's not the way that you think it is. It's not the way you think it is at all, the way to fly. Voldemort was one, like, J.K. Rowling is a satanic Freemason because that her book series is about the magic school is literally a school of magic. Her characters that she wrote with specific names and astrological placements. She did a birth charts and numerology for her characters. She was a Freemason, Satanist. Satanist, maybe, but definitely Freemason. Definitely magician, witchcraft. School of magic, Leviosa and Penis Shrinkus. Hey, fuck is you as Crow. Fuck is you as Crow. Fuck you. Thank you for the clip. Gotta go, man. You got this. He then goes to lick 77 pickles while putting his face in the 33 peaches. And Kai Cenat joins in with Queso. I think Queso would have eaten it all first, man. And Kai Cenat would be out sucking some guy's dick. Because I'm the only real Casey left. You heard me? But yeah, Voldemort was one day away from being a 33 life path. He ended up being a 5. And he was a Capricorn, which is the devil in tarot. Or Saturn. You know, it sucks. Luck of the draw, fate. That Tom Riddle wasn't the chosen one. And Harry Potter was a Leo. July 1st, which is my cousin Jesse's birthday. Jesse, or Jesus. And his birthday is the same as Harry Potter. But he's a narcissistic fucking creep. Lives in Section 8, doesn't do shit with his life. He's a power-hungry piece of shit. And he had potential, but he listened to his mom, who's in one of the worst cases of mental illness I've ever seen. My family is some of the worst mental illness I've ever seen in my life. Like, I know some heroin addicts that are way better people than my parents. J.K. Rowling is a Satanist embodied in an author who likes to embody other people into spiritual beings in her writings because she likes 11 dwarfs and 33 peaches. Isn't 11 a dwarf? And is 33 a peach? Are peaches orange? I would say 33 would be orange. And 11 dwarves? Yeah, if you think that they're the dwarves from Elder Scrolls. Appreciate it, David. Who dares fucking message me? Cash App. Oh, thank Heather. Come on, man. It's fucking Christmas. Heather. God. Well, that will go towards my phone service, man. I don't have it, like, if you want it back, let me know. I don't know how much it was. But make sure you guys got a Christmas. Don't take their fucking Christmas from them because you're trying to get me money, I don't think you would, but just don't, man. I would feel horrible if Ben didn't get a good Christmas because Casey doesn't have a birth certificate, so he can't get a job. Ouch! You know what I'm saying? Other symbolism in movies, or I could talk about dreams I had. It's like my dreams used to be that I was this giant in a war zone, and then I would turn into this golden eagle, but not a golden eagle, like an eagle made of golden light. And I would pick people up, take them to different war zones. So that's kind of what I was saying, is that Casey's take souls from one stage of their life and they bring them to the next stage of their life. Like how Harry Potter has to go to heaven, he has to go through King's Cross Station and meet Brian Dumbledore. That's what I'm saying. Is they're like the polar bears, what the Inuit believe, which turns out, how long have I been talking about the polar bears and the Inuit? Turns out I'm native. Seneca, Mohawk, Cree to Inuit. That's my line. And the Inuit, and then also Irish on the other side, where polar bears originated from in Ireland. Also Kendrick and Cole. Kindness in community. Killer crows. King of the crows. Kikes and cucks. What? So I had a dream. Wait, hold on. Hey. Oh, yeah. Polar bears, when they would do their ceremony, so you go through your hero's journey. You start off in one place, and you go and you learn and you meet people and you go through these events and they teach you things about yourself, and then you return home with what you've learned and you've transformed, and then you look back with gratitude and you make a change in where you started. And then you go on more hero's journeys and adventures, and that's just the life of a Sagittarius, I guess, or just people in the age of Pisces, where you have to travel through the dark waters of the collective consciousness to gather information and change. Following your dreams of the Pisces. Ruled by Jupiter, which is like, this is the coolest time to be alive, man. The Pisces is the end of the zodiac. So, hold on, fam. So, the polar bears and these souls' journeys, this job, what the universe would do to these Inuit people is that when the soul was ready and was able to transcend in their ceremonies, in their igloos, the polar bear spirit would astral project in, and it would take them to the next stage of their consciousness evolution. Polar bears are ascended masters that would guide souls along their journey to the next level. And that's why people that meet Casey usually go fucking insane. Confronted by the Most High. And it's overwhelming, and it reveals to them their true selves. So the people that are power hungry, nitpicky, obsessive, compulsive, controlling, jealous, envious, greedy, prideful, gluttonous, all these horrible stuff about them gets exposed. And usually they're so trapped in escapism and the bravery it takes to stay in the moment, be aware of everything going around, and make a conscious decision to change. Usually they can't do it, so they just let all the things ride them like a pony, and they fucking go nuts. Which is why people fucking attack me. Or they just become nuts. Berate me for 45 minutes locked in a van about a point that we have already established weeks ago. Lose touch with reality. Because you can't, because of your habits and your daily choices, you're being called to raise to a higher point, and you just can't get there. So you're stuck where you're comfortable, and you're trying your best, but really you're just being puppeted by demonic entities through your vessel to attack me. And I'm a punching bag that can take it. No Diddy. If there was some person to meet you where you're at, it would. Gary's name is the female version of Gary. My ex that I loved a lot. I broke up with her to go chase my dreams of being a YouTuber in Miami. She got knocked up by a guy named Gary who used to beat the shit out of her and stalk me afterwards. Gary means spear. Loki used that mighty spear to, the Tesseract, and that fight for that Gary fighting with Gary caused him to leave and exalt himself like Brian out of the simulation into the multiverse, where he met Casey in the Time Variance Authority. Casey broke his ego. The only person to ever defeat Loki was Casey, when he said, yeah, everything you've ever fought for your entire life, Loki, we just use as paperweights outside of space and time, because those Infinity Stones are fucking worthless, and they only matter in your small universe compared to the infinitude that we deal with on a daily basis outside of space and time, or 666, or Saturn, or Capricorn. Then, with the help of Casey and in the basement OB, or the Dark Leviathan, or the 33 snake eating itself, the Ouroboros, Casey and OB work with Loki, or the horned god Baal, or Cernunnos, the Irish god of the wild, to defeat Casey, Kang the Conqueror. And it wouldn't have happened without that scepter, Gary, that mighty spear. I wouldn't be born without my dad, Gary. Also, Call Me Carson, the YouTuber, CMC3133, is like a gamer, and he was like one of the biggest YouTubers. He was like an innovative sensation for a while, just being like a dorky YouTuber that had been doing it since he was like 8 or something. He goes by Gary, his screen name, and he has a developer named Code Husky, whose real name is Loki, and that's his like right-hand guy. My ex, who's the female version of Gary, her nickname is Gary, I guess. She has a husky named Loki. And my dad's a Leo Libra. That girl, my ex, is a Libra, and she has a brother named Leo. And Leo has a best friend named Vincent. And the first day I met Leo and Vincent, they were in the basement of her house playing a game called A Way Out, Leo and Vincent, where you can look it up. You play as characters named Leo and Vincent. And now, at the bottom of Prince Street over there, there's a Gary, a Leo, and a Casey, and a Ray. And then right above it is the underground recording studio where Vincent owns it. And I'm about to take over. Just like Vincent wanted that girl really badly, but I got her. Bitch. Hey-ya! Hey-ya! Shut the fuck up, Crow! For fuck's sake, it's been an hour and a half. Loki sucks. At the end of Loki, he becomes a pretty decent dude. At the beginning, you're like, oh my god, these delusions of grandeur, this narcissist, oh my god. And then once Gary is taken from him, once he gets rid of Gary, and he loses that delusional, glorious sense of purpose, he becomes a real man. With the help of Owen Wilson, which will be very important the more you learn about Casey's life. Owen is one of these names that follow me. Would you just shut the fuck up? I'm trying to focus over here. Just let me focus. And look, I told you that the animals will go right in front of me. There's an energetic transfer. They will put an animal directly in front of me to block what I'm doing. And that's why the crows are suddenly very mad. Mysterious. The squirrel just told me, you're mysterious, and now it's leaving. What the fuck? I'm sitting here, and then the squirrel looks at me, and then a huge wave of energy goes, and I see this creature in the ether go, mysterious. And then the squirrel goes, and then runs away. They're telling me not to tell too much so I can maintain my mysterious vibe, because as an 8th house for Sagittarius and Scorpio, my mystery is my allure. You heard me? Now where the goddamn fuck is this gosh darn daggum squirrel? In my opinion, what the fuck do you want? They're trying to attach to my back. And I'm hungry. You know, I could start a fire. I could start a fire and I could put a your name is Owen. You're a Gemini named Owen. I'm Owen. I'm Owen. I'm Owen. I'm Owen. Is your name actually Owen though? Be honest though. Be honest. Is your name actually Owen? Be on God with me though. Be for real, man. God watching. Is your name actually Owen? Black Tri Wildlife? Black Tri? TRI? Were you a channel that I had shared before? Are you an actual YouTuber? Did you were you the guy that dropped that video They're Not People or something that I shared? Or was that another guy? On God, I'm Owen. Yeah, Owen is one of the names, man. There's your proof. You were shitting on me. You was shitting on me, man. You was you was saying that I'm a fucking 33 peach eating an 11 dwarf out in King's Cross. And I'm telling you, man, it's just right now we're headed from Pisces to Aquarius, so the truth is being revealed. So part of that are these inescapable patterns for us to latch onto in this tapestry of life. So with this, there's solid evidence if you believe that it's real and you accept that it's real, like the Bible, that there's a higher level proof of divine creation and God's hand at play with all of this. And that I'm not just a schizo in the woods, but at face value, you think that there's something wrong with me and that I'm a nut job. But the greatest art is what you have to care about to understand. You know? The people that stuck through care about me. And then they got the God's promise. They got the truth. They ascended in this video with that proof because of you, because you're here if you're not full of shit, you know? But that stuff happens a lot. Like these synchronicities, they're inescapable. If it wasn't you, I would walk down the street and a stranger would approach me and go, "Have you seen Owen lately?" And then people would be like, "Casey just talked about that." And I hope you guys can hear the crows as I'm talking. Fuck off. When you raise your awareness, they leave. I just literally just held my vibration, and with the Sagittarian curiosity, extended my presence outward without expectation. Just like, I wonder what's out there. And because that awareness is God, and it exposes the darkness, they took off. And Casey means vigilant, you know? Huh? Energy ball! Okay, shit. Right above me. I told you. How long was it muted? How long was it muted, man? How long was it muted, man? Do I want a free slingshot? Sure, but it would cost money to mail, brother. I'd take that slingshot and I would fling it at branches where the crows are at. But I don't have the money to pay for shipping, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I muted it on accident. I was saying I want a Class C RV that I want to put a lift kit on and put green seats, paint it black, have a studio in there, and then also, oh, you ship free? Word. go comment on a random video, like just scroll a ways down and comment, and then I'll respond to that comment with an address. Screenshot it, let me know when you got it, and then delete the comment so that nobody knows where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Yerd. Because I've had a lot of issues with people stalking me and trying to show up and see me. Like people that, people that watch and have never said anything, but show up. They show up and they're just like sitting there like, is that him? They're not very good gang stalkers, man. I don't think that the third party organization that pays these ex-law enforcement $1,000 a week to induce psychosis in specific marks that have real ability to file lawsuits against the judicial system because of police brutalities, or people that have gifted higher brainwaves are contracted by the government to keep them suppressed and drive them into a state where they can work together to incarcerate the person so that they don't meet their God-chosen ability to destroy the witchcraft of the Saturnian Capricorn matrix. I don't think the people that show up at my house are getting hired by those guys. You know what I'm saying? But those people have shown up before. When I was getting 1,000 views per video, and I was doing a fasting challenge where all of us are gonna not eat for a week, so I could guide you through how to actually escape the matrix in your own body and gain control of reality, the way that is making all these crows very upset. And it's hard to do. Now that I've quit smoking, it's a bit easier, but as I'm just talking, it's making them all mad. Because I'm like an explosion. Bah! I think that's a raccoon asleep, by the way, that thing I showed you up there. There's an animal that's been laying there for over 2 hours. And it wasn't there yesterday. I gotta find it again. Where are you at? Oh, it's right there. See that black dot laying in that tree? It's not a crow. I thought it was a squirrel. But, it's an animal. It wasn't there yesterday. So I think it's a raccoon sleeping in a tree, because they do that. A lot of times, like if you live by a lake, or like a big lake, like a Great Lake, just sort of follow the lake along and look at the top of the trees. You'll usually find raccoons that chill there, and they eat the stuff in the lake. Shut the fuck up. All right. You smoke like a trucker. What else? The sun is information, and it's producing energy, and the only way to stay sort of in tune and ride the wave of the way the world is going, how to stay on the right side of what's going on, is you have to have a strong connection with the sun. The way to do that is to understand the Higgs boson, how everything is made up of one of the before nothing, right after nothing, there's the smallest thing in the universe. And everything is made up of that smallest thing in the universe, and that's the God particle, the Higgs boson. When you realize that, you realize everything is just ones and zeros, and your thoughts are no different than the thoughts going through the trees, the energy flowing through the plants and the wind, and your insides are greater than you were led to believe. You were trapped in the black cube. You know what I'm saying? Hey, is that an inbred white? I know that's Trailer Park Boys, but you embody the inbred white. You know what I'm saying? Inbred white retards are possessed by the Antichrist. All they can do is destroy God. That's all it is, man. The Jews openly admit that they raised white people as slaves and they used their witchcraft on them and embedded their genetics to be dysfunctional, but believed that they were doing the right thing and that they were the smart ones because they had no real challenges other than themselves. They had no alternative perspectives. And they killed and conquered all the people that had an actual metaphysical connection to the world, common sense and decency, and were just a part of nature. You know, it sucks that nature involves killing. But when you're out here this long, partner, you know, you start to understand what's really going on. And yeah, when you fold up the Christian cross, it's a cube. When you look into the Star of David, it's a cube, 3D, optical illusion. When you look at Islam, they worship Mecca or Trump Tower, the big black cube. When you look at the Jews, which the Jews have only been around for like 500 years max. The real Israelites in Hebrew are Irish. And that's why English and the Irish have had this big beef. Because the Irish were the true Israelites in America and Ireland. And all that stuff that happened in the Middle East is just a big mirage. You heard me? So the ancient Egyptians are the natives, the Native Americans. And that's the big secret. That's why they want you to think they're savage. But the natives are the descendants of the Star People. The Star People are the civilization capable of building the pyramids that we are not able to make the pyramids. So they were more advanced. You're like, these fucking savages. They were more advanced than we are right now. So if you like how you are now, they're smarter than you. You know, I'm smarter than you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? So the pyramids they only went over there to Africa graphic location. They were in America. And they, you know, they were in America, bud. Hate to break it to you, but they were seafaring. Part of it is the Moors and the Moors and all that. That came later. But it was mainly this ancient civilization that we don't really know the name of because it's been erased. And they left with AI. Here, you saw how I raised my vibration and then the squirrel went. They left. And they left behind a black box of everything that's part of their civilization. It starts off on level 1 with cave paintings, with basic coding that a typical 1930s society, a genius could figure out. Then as you get lower and you develop LiDAR technology, or whatever. I don't like the word LiDAR, because it sounds like lying radar, they're making it up. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. I think it's real. That below it, you'll see more and more and more advanced stuff until probably you get all the way to the bottom. And the only way to get through is to have a civilization capable of uncovering those secrets. Because they probably decided, and this is what my ancestors and the space aliens are literally telling me right now, and they tell me a lot. I can see them, just like I rose my vibration, the squirrel went, you know, I'm an 11. Like 11 defeats the Mind Flayer in Stranger Things. So, they've decided that in order for a society to be technologically capable of the things that they have there for them, they must have a sense of morality and decency, democracy, to be able to make that happen. So we're going to find out. The more advanced our civilization gets, the more morally superior our civilization becomes. The more advanced we get, the more we'll be capable of using complex quantum computing to open these locks and get down into that black box of their ancient civilization. And when that happens, They will cut the star people that the natives say they descended from will come down from the heavens and will come through from the underworld. The pharaohs that are living in the sarcophagus and astral projecting through their corpse from beyond the veil will make themselves here because they will give the technology capable of allowing normal muggles like you to be able to witness the things that our genetics are capable of witnessing just by standing here. I can stand here and feel the birds moving. I can understand what they're saying, and I'm showing you in real time how I like respond and bam, 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 and how that triggers them. And you're subconsciously learning from me something's coming through my vessel and my genetics. It's a product of my bloodline. Blame my dad, man. RH negative, O positive. So, plus decades of isolation in the woods. And then decades before that. I'm only 26. I'm just being completely alone with this, you know? But basically, once we get to that point with AI, probably 2027, late 2026, they're already, I mean, they reveal themselves to us all the time out here. We see them all the time, every day. But it won't be as big as it is. You know, they've started disclosure with like saying, yeah, the nukes have been a big joke for years because the aliens just show up and turn off our nukes. That's what they say. That's part of their reports, is saying that, yeah, none of us have nukes. It's a big made-up thing to psyop our cattle, the whites. But yeah, when we tried to build these big warheads, the aliens just showed up and hacked it. They flew right above the silo, and they hovered there for 30 seconds. They got into our most advanced codes, and they disabled the nukes completely, and they flew away. We tried to carry this nuke through an aircraft carrier through the ocean, and a ship landed on the fucking aircraft carrier and put out this giant bright light that gave 13 specific people brain damage for the rest of their life, completely killing them, and a couple people that were standing there were completely unharmed by it. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. So once our society gets advanced enough and decent enough, so they're sort of letting these inbred whites, you know, reveal themselves, kind of making them feel like that, you know, getting their rocks off, whatever, with the Trump stuff, and it's just it's bringing the fruit to the forefront, and then there's going to be a big cut. So they're letting them grow, and then they're going to cut them. Politics, democracy, and Republicans were created for a culture of white people that survived off hating the other. So once there was no other to hate, they kept a little bit of black people around and a little bit of natives around. They made imaginary threats overseas. They made a two-party system so that they would, like lemmings, follow the lead to attack each other. And that's what continuing to be slaves and work and work and work and rape, work and work and work and rape the homeless person and work and work and work and support the police, knowing that the police are raping their daughters and homeless people. You know what I'm saying? The fucked up colonial box that they're stuck in. Inbred retard losers. Clipped. So eventually there's going to be a big smackdown with the truth. It'll probably be Dubai and the Middle East taking over as the world's superpower, because America cannot bomb them anymore. Have I personally experienced a craft firsthand, you decide? From just in the deep sky? Have I seen a craft? Yeah. In the Bible, it says that their brains opened up and a silver craft, like the Silver Surfer from Marvel, entered and spoke about Galactus or the Galactic Federation. In the Bible. And then the beings came out of it. No diddy. What I saw, I was in the woods. I climbed Mount Mansfield, which is the tallest mountain in Vermont. I was at sundown. I got to the top. I got down and it was pitch black, and I had a 7-mile hike to go down. So it's pitch black than the stars. I can barely see the tree line. So I'm going down these slopes, and then wow 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 on my head, and then a big golden light steps a giant deer person with long fingers, and it doesn't speak. It's looking at me, the image of it, and it's speaking to me. You hear all the animals just went off, and something broke a tree branch, but it's dead quiet. So the thing told me it was Cernunnos, or the Irish god of the wild. There's a mosquito out here. What the hell is a mosquito doing here? It's below zero. What the fuck is a mosquito doing here? It's not below zero. It's below freezing is what I meant to say. And it told me that I'm in a test, and they're watching me. And if I pass the test, I'm golden and I'm good to go. I've passed my initiation. This is my rite of passage. And if I fail, I saw a bear, and I felt a bear mauling me to death. And then it went back into the golden light and left. Then rustling right behind me. And it's something big. I'm not reading that yet. Hold on. Oh. So I have to walk through pitch black with something huge following me, rustling the leaves behind me, following me the whole way. I get to halfway, so I walked 3.5 miles down this mountain in the pitch black. I'm holding a mile marker in case the thing lunges at me, so I could turn around and just smack it, because that's all I could do. So I had my mile marker. I was 22. I'd never been camping before in my life alone, and now all of a sudden I'm straight into the mountain, like homeless with no family, by the way. So I had nobody. Nobody would ever find me. I was completely alone. And eventually there's this drop off. I can't see this big cement chairlift post, and I don't know how far this drop is in front of me. I spit and I can't hear it. You know? Just the simple deflections and stuff. It's just it's usually porn addicts, if I'm being honest. It's like sexually confused, like angry people, and they live in that frustration without any sense of love because nobody likes them. So that's like they're just kind of like they're trying to take a step towards being hugged, is what those things come from. You know, if you sit, I've sat with them for days and days and let them bitch at me. You know, kind of like spew their pride and garbage and just kind of hold through, and I powered through to try to make a difference. And eventually you can crack it, and it all kind of falls away, and their true child of itself before all the garbage hit them, and they can't do it. So they kind of, I have to leave, and then I bring all the light and presence with me, and they become lonely losers trapped and stuck still, and they actually get worse until they become incarcerated, usually. People that talk like it's fun. His name is Black Hole. I don't. Maybe he's not real. Maybe it's a bot. That's so funny. I was talking about. So there's this chairlift post. There's this drop off. I can't see how far it is. This thing is this huge. I think it's a bear or something is following me, just slowly kind of stalking me from behind. No diddy. So there's this little like about this much space of rock between the chairlift big cement post and this drop off, and I decided I'm just gonna wait there until the morning so I can see. So I'm waiting there with the mile marker above me, thinking that whatever this is that's almost on the chairlift post, if I hear its claws or whatever get to the edge and it comes for me, I'm just gonna and dump it off the side and then take off up the hill. Two to now. And then I had a brain injury and was hospital in Section 8 then. But it wasn't really a brain injury. It was just sort of like a lot of different stuff like SSRIs and weed, um, like horrible trauma, and I kind of just gave up on life for a couple years, and then I had to bring myself back. And we also had the Great Awakening of 2020 that happened then, and everything changed. So it was just a difficult time. The year of the rat, metal rat. So I was in a box in an apartment, and it was torture. When I left that, my first day of homelessness, it was freezing. It was like the middle of like early March. And I was outside the store. I was going to go to the storage facility to go live in a storage unit behind Walmart. And there was a porcupine running in circles in the middle of the road. So I was like, what the fuck? So I just took my guitar case and I grabbed it and put it in the guitar case, held it down so it couldn't move until I could get it into my cat carrier back home with my cat. And he just hung out with my cat for a while. A wildlife conservationist comes in. Sorry, I quit smoking, so it's all the garbage I'm bringing up. Turns out that porcupine had brain parasites, and it was running in the road because it wanted something to kill it and eat it to transfer the parasites. So that it was that porcupine saying, "I love you, keep going," you know? So I was like, fuck it. Well, actually, first I was like, I don't know. And then here's the answer to your question. It looks like a sperm cell, but made of golden yellowish light. Not like heavenly, more like yellowish, kind of tannish, pastel sort of light. More like a gel, less like a golden heavenly light. Big craft, UFO shaped, like circular, but it had the golden tail, like a sperm cell or a tadpole, slowly over my head in the middle of pitch black. I can see it. It goes on the other side of the mountain, and then in an instant drops. And then I see a creature, like a long humanoid creature, like an alien, something that looks like, I don't know, like, I don't know even know if it had eyes or if it was just faceless, like kind of like Slender Man if it didn't have a suit on and it was all white. But it was like an ant that was skin, not like a cloth. And I saw it running at me, and I heard it's coming. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Can't see. You hear it? When I pointed at the animals, it triggered them, and they went. Because I electrocuted them with the truth on accident. You can clearly see that energetic motion created a impact because I'm a Sagittarius, and I'm in Sagittarius season. The point was, I'm feeling around the rock side on the cliff with the tree line on the ski slope. It's like late fall, like October. Maybe it's September, I don't know. Then I find a root, so I'm gonna just crawl down the root. I look up right before, and in the tree line, I see a silhouette of a humanoid shape. It's darker than dark, so it's pitch black out, yet this is way darker than anything around it. And it goes something like, but way lower, way lower. No human could make a noise that low. You know what I'm saying? No Shaquille O'Neal. Nobody could bring that low. It was way. I could put it on a piano. No, it's lower than a piano. I know the lowest E on my piano. It's lower than that. Or the lowest C, sorry. And it spoke in a tongue. And I'm like, I went a little bit faster and went down. Then I walked another 3.5 miles, got down. Spotlight is now shining at the bottom of the slope. There's a giant 20-foot tall with wire fence on the slope, facing towards the slope, which is really weird. Really weird, actually. Now that I think about it, what the fuck? Either way, Maybe that's just like they're rich and that was the best defense that they could get to be sure that they could leave it alone with their expensive equipment and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. But they had barbed wire on the fence. At the top. And it's a ski resort. Either way, I have the mile marker. I can't speak English at this point. I've lost my ability to speak. I can't form words. I'm just this giant floating awareness and fire. And I'm like, come out! Come on! Ah! Oh, yeah! Slamming it down. And I could hear the thing at the edge of the tree line. It followed me 7 miles. And it's just waiting there until some guy comes barreling out of the woods, and it's an EMT that gets to me, and he gets me out, and we get to the ambulance. And I tell him just that something followed me the whole way. And he was like, yeah, we're not supposed to talk about it, but there are mountain lions that are still here. We don't want people to kill them. So Vermont makes it seem like the last mountain lion was killed in 1980 or something. It was probably a mountain lion. And then as we're leaving and the ambulance is taking me to my car, I look up, and standing in the spotlight, right at the edge of the spotlight, is that dark black shadowy figure. But it's standing there, and it's got to be 10 or 15 feet tall, and it's got these giant black tentacles like Slender Man, and it's just standing there. Then I leave, exactly like Slender Man, but not in a suit. It's just black. No Diddy. And I go until I run out of gas. I drive and I wind up at this gas station. Someone just messaged me their friend just killed themselves. I just got a message on my Discord that someone's friend just killed themselves. And I'm out of cigarettes. Oh, fuck. So, hey, so, holy shit. God damn. I get to this gas station. I run out of change. And I need like $3 more to get to Burlington to start door dashing again. My car was a piece of shit gas guzzler. I'd get an order idling in traffic. If I made $5 on a DoorDash order, I would I would get right to the gas station. I would put $2.50 in, get enough to get to the order. Then I would cash out the order beforehand, pretend like there's a problem with the app and that I've delivered it with an old picture of like I had a second phone. I would take a picture of the food at a random building, and I would take a picture of that and make it seem like I had delivered the food and there's just a problem with the GPS. So then I would cash out the sort of like between $2 and $5, and with that $8, I'd go right back to the gas station, put that $8 in, and then I would turn the car off, and I would wait in the parking lot until I got an order that would be enough for me to make that, and also not get fired from DoorDash. And that was the only way I could make like $2 or $3 profit an hour. And I would ride that until I could get phone service. So I get around $40 at the end of the month. Barely. And I wouldn't eat. I'd eat donuts out of the Dunkin' Donuts dumpster. And no drink. I would take handfuls of snow. And that was it. So I was outside. I had finally saved up enough that I went to Mount Mansfield because I wanted to accomplish something in my life. So I went to Mount Mansfield that day. That's how I got there. You know what I'm saying? And on my way back, I'm out, so I have to ask for change, which I didn't do often back then, and I don't really do it now either. I don't really do it, and I never really did it. But sometimes I'd be out of gas, and I'd be saying like, "Hey, Can I get the change in your console? And then some, like a Navy SEAL or something, would see that I'm traumatized and he's traumatized, and we would recognize, yeah, the world is fucking crazy and I'm trying my best. He could see that I was an honorable fighter. Like people would say, one time somebody called me a warrior, and I take that to heart. Um, and he filled up my tank because he said, "You're a warrior, man. I see you fighting every day," in his own words, which is really nice. But basically, while I'm waiting for some guy that's gonna go get me his change, an 18-year-old girl, I think, walks by, and she's about to open the door. She stops and looks at me, and "You just saw the shadow people." And I was like, I was never gonna say anything, but I'm so glad that this happened, because I thought I was gonna think that I was crazy for the rest of my life. She's like, "You're definitely not crazy. I'm a witch." And everyone here sees them. Everybody here sees them. Nobody talks about it. When I was 19, my friend, who wasn't my friend at all actually, he was a piece of shit, Kyle and Nate, they did mushrooms, and they looked out in the woods and saw the black shadow people just standing there watching them. When I was 8, or no, when I was I must have been 11, because I was in 6th grade. Um, I had a dream. I was sleeping in my mom, or I took a nap in my mom and my stepdad's bed, for some reason, and I was kicked out of my body, and I was floating above my body, watching me, and I looked over, and there was this black, old, like black is in the color, not the race, um, dark entity of an old woman with red eyes, and had long fingers, and it was doing some shit to me, and I could feel the pain of it kicking me out of my body and trying to crawl into my body. And I woke up screaming, and then I think either a week before or a week later, um, my stepdad went to get up and go to the bathroom, and something smacked his ass and scratched him in that room. And then they brought a psychic in, and when the psychic was working and like going to the space, she was old, I could see the thing and she couldn't see it. I could see it being like, "Ha, I'm gonna walk up to the door." I'm at the door, and it was showing off to me that the psychic was full of shit. And it wasn't the old woman. It was more like an ancient reptilian thing. It was like a black reptilian-shaped humanoid with like a lizard head, and it was tall, like maybe like 6 inches taller than 6 foot, so like 7 feet tall, standing at the doorway, amused, like she can't see shit, and it was fucking with me. And I was like, "It's right there, and you don't see it?" And everyone was like, for some reason, people like, it's just so weird. There's like a specific type of person that makes up 80% of humanity, and those people are like prideful retards that when chosen ones speak, they're too afraid to feel the energy, so they like just dismiss and dismiss and dismiss. That's all they can really do to preserve their own comfort, instead of challenging themselves and rising. Instead of facing everything and rise, they believe the false evidence appearing real. You know what I'm saying? People believe the world is a plain Jane. It's far more crazy and unexplainable than one can explain. I can explain it, but I don't know the higher levels. I can kind of get to the higher levels, but it's a kaleidoscope. So even in those higher levels, there is another higher level at play at the same time. It's just about tuning your frequency like a radio station to whichever realms you want. And as long as you're brave, you can personalize your experience. So anything is possible. Plain Jane Rolly on my wrist. Where's my... I threw up the other night and puked all over the sleeping bag, so I just left it out here. And I'm out of tissues. What I was trying to say is that sometimes it feels like there are deities up there, like greater intelligences that are at play for power and control and influence over us, and they see us as vessels to farm the or energy that they steal and eat from us. Which is why God was like, you should have no other gods before me. Because they'll just steal your life force for themselves. But maybe that God was also stealing our life force for himself. And the true creator is different than that God. But all of them are actually that God as well. It's just like a restructuring byproduct of free will or something. But the further out you go, the more you realize that it wasn't free will at all. It's all connected to the infinite. That type of high-level philosophy stuff, I don't like to live in because it's hard to. I mean, Sagittarius can't be Sagittarius without that philosophy. They end up just sort of the beastly nature. Like every Sagittarius, is thinking about the stuff that I'm talking about right here. Gideon and Kaisenat and all these other Sages they are up there in that realm with the infinite, looking out, but maybe because I'm exalted, whatever. But they usually cut themselves off, and that's why Gideon's fucking obese as hell. Because it's really it's overwhelming to live in that higher plane and to see everything for what it really is and to explore that kaleidoscope of the infinite, to see all the different, very complex, terrifying levels of this experience and what's really going on out there. And that's why the point is that no matter how high you go, you're just supposed to live as a divine child. You're supposed to just embody spiritual childhood. And I figured that out when I was fucking 8. Jordan Peterson is just now figuring it out, and he's like 65 or something. He's just now realized that the path to enlightenment is the way of spiritual childhood. That you're supposed to give it all up to God because you are God. And you're taking care of yourself, and you separated from yourself, but not really. You just chose not to. You've compartmentalized a section of yourself in your own consciousness, and you're living inside of your own imagination. Our spirits aren't in our bodies are in our spirits. You know what I'm saying? So I literally live exalted. I'm like a floating star in space controlling this vessel, and that's why I seem weird. And when I start to gain more control, like I start to get more in my body, that's what makes the crows mad. Because the more into this realm I can get as a 33 life path, the more of reality I can literally change with just a simple switch of my consciousness fingers. I'm talking about sometimes I'll be here and there will be like the worst people you can imagine walking around. The most disgusting, demonic pieces of garbage. And the devil will be attacking me with them. Whether it's my subconscious doing an equation. You know what I'm saying? Or what? Like whether this is actual a representation of your oversoul and it's your subconscious thinking, and that's what these experiences and events are, calculated ways of processing your oversoul self to churn out the parts of you that you don't like and reiterate as a better version. You know what I'm saying? These inbred whites. Shocker. Keep watching, guys. Watch. Are these the inbred yokels? So, the thing's trying to keep you from the truth through narcissism. Pride. Either way, when I'm more into my body, and I'm here, which is really difficult with it would be hard to describe the trauma. I could write about it, but even then, like I've forgotten, I blacked out most of my childhood. Either way, when I can get it through, and I can accurately hold my awareness to really make sure that I'm completely aware of everything going on out there with no distractions. Literally, I look like 11 right now. And I'm doing that to the Demogorgons. Then I can snap their neck like Will the in the last episode of Stranger Things. Then I can, and all of a sudden they're happy and they're laughing and they're excited and there's a pep in their step and they keep going, and I feel like they're now plugged into me, and they go until they're like out of my sight, and then I feel the energy come back to me if I can do it correctly. Some people try to steal it for themselves and then they die. They suffer and die spiritually. They lose their job. Everybody hates them. They expose themselves on social media and everybody turns on them. They go insane with narcissism and all this stuff because they feel like the power that I gave freely to help them was misused. Matthew Murdoch. You know what I'm saying? But eventually it does come back. And in the middle of the night, I go, oh fuck. Hey. And all of a sudden my ex wants my dick. You know what I'm saying? They want it bad. They're like, the demons infesting everybody will do anything they can to put me back in the system. If the X doesn't work and the crows don't work and the cops going down the road don't work, eventually they'll, like a stranger with their dog will be like, what's that? And it's a tent, and they're like, junkie. And they call the police, and then the cops are like, oh fuck yeah. And they show up and they try to beat me to death. They'll try to the disorderly to use excessive force during the arrest to entrap me and for resistance so that they can further the excessive force, trying to get me to spit or attack the officer to add charges between here and the jail cell. So they use intimidation tactics, shows of force, trying to play and trigger your traumas to induce a reaction that they can consider disorderly or obstruction, so that they can use excessive force in baiting in the arrest itself, like touching your junk when they search you, or stuff like, or pulling your hair when they put your hood down, or like pressing up against you if you're a woman, trying to get you to react so that they can punch you in the face, floor you, molest you. They want to molest you. It's a sexual power ritual. Then when you're in jail, now you're in the government contract, and they harvest all your life force and give it to the guy at the desk. That's why I got the guy at the desk. By not doing that with my awareness and my ancient Egyptian whatever, I was able to hold it in, and he ran in, opened the door, and punched me right in the chest as hard as he could. So on camera, all that looked like is that I'm standing there in the middle of the room, and he's sitting at the desk, and then eventually he just runs up and opens the door, and boom! Right in the heart. And then I told the lieutenant, I said, I'd like to report assault, and nothing happened with it. And I've been calling them for years about it, and they won't answer. I'm going to call them after this, actually. Be like, hey, just want to talk to that officer that was there. Remember when I reported that your cop ran into the room and punched me for no reason? What happened? And they'll never answer. But God is just like inching and inching and inching to the last minute, trying his hardest to show you. And then at the very end, when you refuse, yeah, I run over the mountainside with a tomahawk. Right here. Or a civil suit. And hopefully a lot of these cops will be on the sex offender registry. Because a lot of Vermont cops are inbred yokels like Mr. Kyle here. And they've been getting away with raping runaway kids, your nieces and nephews, and your brothers and sisters out there in addiction for too long. They've been hurting the people. And it's not going to make it to the new world. And everything we've been doing has been recorded by higher intelligences. There's no way any of you will be able to escape what you've done. And that's just the way it is, man. So next month I meet with the churches, and I found a carpenter willing to do it for free at cost of materials, and we're going to public showers installed. If that doesn't work, I'm going to talk to a business development committee for the state about getting me an RV, which I will build public showers in, and I will now, for the next few months at least, be bringing this RV to homeless sites. Is that an eagle? Dude, there's a bald eagle. The bald eagle scared the squirrel. The squirrel's like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, it's here. But yeah, it's a bald eagle. It is left to right, which is concerning. But the river flows this way. So, what can you do? If I was on the other side of the river, it would have been right to left. You know what I'm saying? And it is coming. It is circling back. But hey, bald eagle. But yeah, I'm trying to build public showers because the thing that would have saved my life and would have saved my brother's life, because he froze to death, because I couldn't save him because I was traumatized from police brutality, and I was stuck fighting off Morrisville, trying to bring justice for what they were doing to me and a bunch of homeless people, that I failed to find a piece of land and a job because they wouldn't hire me. And I walked all the way to Johnson. I walked 100 miles through in all these small towns being like, hey, do you have a guy that needs work? Do you need, I'll come clean for $20. I'm looking to be a carpenter's apprentice or work with horses. I'll clean shit for $5 an hour. I'll shovel shit. I'm just looking for something. I don't have a birth certificate because the state police stole my car. They were mad at me that somebody filed a false police report against me, and they assumed that I was a junkie because I was homeless, because my car broke down, because I was door dashing and living in my car, because I was evicted from my Section 8 property, because my neighbor who was schizophrenic was filed police over 40 times, and the cops were convinced because that I must have been selling heroin because I made $12,000 Doge with my pandemic unemployment assistance money into Dogecoin. I didn't make that much, but I spent it on a nice car, nice clothes. So they assumed because I had a hot girlfriend, nice Puerto Rican, beautiful woman, best looking in town, obviously. It was so, like, she had the whole line in her aisle at Price Chopper. And now she's an ugly, disgusting cunt because she made poor choices and she got old. So it is what it is. Now my other ex is the best looking in town. And you all know it's true. So, and I love that other ex more, which is how it works, you know. It's the alley-oop. The one that got it at first fell from grace. And now the one that was tried and true maintains. And I'm not cool enough for her. And she joined the army, so she's probably been ran through like a train station, you know, barracks bunny bullshit. So I don't really want her anyway, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I just like a horse. But the point is that I'm trying to work. Will you hire me? You know, I'm not a bad person. I don't commit crimes. I'm just trying to make music out in the woods. And I feel like God chose me for this life because none of you could do it. Who do you know that could do what I did, man? Could you make it through negative 60 degrees with nothing for months? Started a fire to keep yourself warm? The cops that raped homeless women and tried to rape you, me, would show up and rape you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even have a fire. Would you be able to do it? No. Would you be able to do it while recording them so that in the future you have evidence against them? Have evidence of them blocking off a McDonald's and lying, trying to haul you away because they were mad about what you said about white people? Doing exactly what I said I was mad about. But they can't recognize and hold accountability. They can't look in the mirror. No. So I couldn't get hired anywhere. Oh, the point was the state police stole my car. Because I said I was going to sell it for $500. Somebody was going to give me for my broken down car. But because I couldn't afford to register it in my name, which was $300, and I only made like $10 profit a day door dashing, and that would go right into gas or food or phone service. I wasn't able to register it in my name, but I had the bill of sale. I have a message from the guy saying, yeah, I gave Casey my car because I believe in him, and I want him to be out of his situation because he's talented, and I want him to make his music. And I'm going on a faith walk, and I don't want to pay the insurance because I'm a schizophrenic. That's what the guy said. And he went on a faith walk across the country. And then he came back, and I think he kept surrounding himself with heroin addicts, man. If he had stayed, I got him into a mosque, and I got him into a community of people that were of his same religion, and I got him a place to stay. He didn't want to work, so he couldn't afford the insurance, so the car was going to go anyway. A bunch of junkies were using it to steal from the Home Depot and sell the power tools for drug money, which I thought was pretty cool because fuck them, they were pieces of shit to me. Home Depot was. I'm glad that they do it, you know, but I also feel like demons infest heroin addicts, so that's why I call them junkies. Not all are bad, and all of them are scared, traumatized children possessed by the mind flayer. But some of you can't tell the difference. So, because you are also just as bad as those junkies. Your vice is just the same brain stimulation. When you go on Facebook and you open Facebook and you scroll and you look at likes and comments and you comment and you like and you watch the content, look it up. It's the same stimulation in your brain as heroin. So the people on Facebook talking shit about junkies are addicted to heroin the same way. They just don't put it, they put it in their eyes. They don't put it in them. Which is really funny. So, what else? Yeah, that happened. That's why the state police took my car, and then I survived a hurricane. And there was a tornado warning. But yeah, I couldn't get any work, and that resulted in falling, getting knocked unconscious, and crawling until he died on Main Street in my hometown at 7 in the morning. Not the main street, but the actual main street, Canal Street, where everybody goes. More traffic hits Canal Street than it hits Main Street, usually. Because people going to and from the highway. That might not be true. But there's a lot of traffic. It's just, maybe I just haven't spent enough time downtown. It seems like Canal Street gets really congested, and it's bigger than Main Street, so I just assume. But it's probably just the same amount of traffic, to be honest. And they all saw him, and they left him. And I didn't have land, because I didn't have a job for those reasons. My birth certificate was in my car that the state police stole. For themselves. So here's what it is, man. What do I want to do today? What time is it? 4 o'clock. It's about to get dark. I'm out of money. I think I have a couple bags of chips. No, I have like a quarter bag of chips left. And I'll have another soda. So I'll leave. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.